Okay, so hope the sound is good, the picture is in order. Lovely. Okay, good morning. Welcome to the new webinar here on a Monday morning. What do we do today? I just wanted to talk a little bit about different government institutions, and today I decided let's start with the Small Enterprise Finance Agency. Lovely, we have already some viewers. Just let me know if the sound is in order, that would be good. And then we will start. Okay. Maybe just let me just introduce myself. I'm not doing that all the time, I know that, but sometimes I think it makes sense. My name is Dagmar Breiling-Marie. I'm here the CEO at Funding Connection, and we assist companies and entrepreneurs raising capital. We do that by lots of advisory and consultancy, but of course also with drafting bankable business plans, developing the financial forecast and the financial model for our clients. And then in the second step, we go out and raise the capital. We approach government institutions, of course. We have always a look if there are some grants available. And then, but there are also some commercial banks, some other funds available. We just need to check that you really qualify, and then we can also go there. For bigger amounts, we are also able to raise capital from abroad, and it's just a wide variety of where we really have a look at. There are still no comments. Okay, good morning. Let me just know from where you are so that I can see that. That would be lovely. And I also would, of course, like to know if you really can hear me. Okay. Kaugelo, good morning. Even if the business are start up, yes. Tiboho, good morning from Johannesburg. Okay, looks like you definitely can hear me. I'm happy. So yes, so it's for startups and for expansions. Robin Wilkinson, good morning, and confirms everything is in order. Thanks very much, Anne. That's one of my team members here. I'm sure most of you have had already contact with her. Joanne, good morning from Kimberley, and she can hear me. Yay! And Morris from Johannesburg. Great. Okay. Let's start with the topic today. And Kaugelo, Kaugelo, please do me a favor. The easiest way for you is definitely go to our Facebook page and go via Facebook Messenger and contact us there. And Brent is on the other side. He will be able to guide you step by step here. I definitely will also share the link here for our contact page. There's a reason why I don't give out email addresses and telephone numbers, otherwise we are spammed. I've done that in the beginning, I burned my fingers. You need to do this via our Facebook page or of course via our contact page, and on our contact page there are also telephone numbers if you want to give us a call. Ashraf is from the West Coast. Lovely. Let me see, there was Makita. Good morning. Do you have international funders for expansion for fuel business? Okay, so the international financiers usually start from 10 million euros, 10 million US dollars. If this is the size of your project, we're definitely able to have a look at. Otherwise, it is cheaper to find finance here in South Africa. Yeah? Okay, Teboho. Do you know if SEFA does give out loans or grants for skills development and trainings organizations? SEFA is an enterprise financier. Okay, so they will, if it is a non-profit organization, they may have some specific funds available, but that's I'm not aware of, and that's also not so. Skills development is nothing where we really concentrate on, and it's also not our expertise. Yeah, I only want to offer you something where I'm 100% sure I am able to assist you and I'm confident. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Jumps here up and down. Somebody, Elridge is from Cape Town. Pumu, good morning. Why does it jump back always? That is annoying. Okay. Kogelo, you have messaged us. When did you message us? So usually Brent really comes back in yeah. Worst case scenario, if you messaged him in the afternoon at 10 past 4, he will only come back to you in the morning. Yeah, or of course after the weekend. I'm not a slave driver. My staff is off on the weekend and they have at 4 their well-deserved time off. Michelle is there. Hello. Also, one of my business partners from Pretoria. Nice to see you there. Sina is from Cape Town. Ronald Arnolds from the Eastern Cape. Okay. Do you offer funding grant for livestock and feedlot? Okay. So maybe just Pumu just asked me this. Funding Connection is a private consulting firm. We do not offer any finance, any grants. What we do is we assist companies and entrepreneurs to access them. Yeah. So we have a look at your venture, what you want to do, or if you want to expand, in which direction you want to expand. We have a look which of the organizations and financiers would finance you, and then we fine-tune the whole application so that you really tick all their boxes. Yeah. Okay, and there are some funds definitely available for livestock, and I think the Department of Agriculture still can offer some portion as a grant. Okay, Lindelwa, from South Africa, but in the US. How do you raise the capital? Do you ensure? Let me just see. That the business actually receives funding, or it's actually just a concept? What if the applicant fails the application criteria? Do you assist the applicant until they receive the actual funding? Okay, so if you've seen our fees, is we really have a look, and what we do is we assist usually only with one application, and the reason is if you apply everywhere, your application is always connected to your ID number. And let me tell you specifically, government institutions are not happy if you are wasting time. Yeah, because it goes, let's say you want to apply with CIFA, with NEF, and with IDC. Maybe you are qualifying for all these three institutions. That means they put hours into it to make sure that you meet all the criteria. Okay, so that is one of the problems why we are careful with this. Yes, I know you can hear my dog outside. Let me just scream at her. Give me a second. Daisy, stop it! Okay, I hope you didn't hear that. Okay, so, and sometimes what we do is we really make sure that you qualify and that you have all the documents in place. But we definitely are not able to guarantee. Nobody on this earth is able to guarantee you funding. Yeah, I don't know how other people. I know there are some people able to do that. Whatever documents you give us, I assume it's the truth. Yeah, we don't doubt this, and the financiers usually do the check. Yeah, and that's one of the challenges. I see there. Okay, so this jumping up and down. How long does it take CIFA to assess and approve funding? Deep's 2 to 3 months is realistic time frame. Yeah. Teboho, does CEDA offer any loans or grants? CEDA is the Small Enterprise Development Agency, Teboho. Okay. And they offer a grant. They can also offer you some support to draft a business plan if you need some support there. They are able to give you some, I think they work with a voucher system, and I'm not too sure how it works on your side. I know how it works on our side. So we get a confirmed order from CEDA to do a feasibility study or to do a business plan for our clients, and then they will pay us at the end of the day. I think you can have the possibility to choose the service providers you want to use, and they will pay. So it's a grant for you on your side. Maketa, what could be the turnaround time for funding for development of a shopping complex mall to the tune of 10 million US dollars? Okay, so if you have everything in place, keep in mind 10 million US dollars is 180 million rand here, if I remember that. 180 million 360. I just exchanged some dollars yesterday, so that's why I'm aware of that. This is nothing done quickly. They will need to do proper due diligence. You need to have the plans in place, the offer to purchase of the property. So there's lots of things what you need to have to do to make it easy for the financier. And then it can also depend on if everything is in place, then it can go quite quickly. Yeah. Aaron asked about a call center. Okay, so what can I do for you, Aaron? Um, this jumping. Does Morris, does CIFA offer funding for franchise? And when you assist with application for it, how much do you charge? Okay. So CIFA and us is able to assist with franchise finance. Okay, they have a couple of things what they want to have in place. Number one is the franchisor needs to have a good reputation. They need to be a minimum of 2 years already in existence. They need to be able to submit annual financial statements from similar branches so that the financier sees that your assumptions regarding sales and profit margins are realistic. Yeah. Yes, depending on the investment amount, we're charging accordingly. So just for you, you go to our website, you find all our fees for up to 10 million rand investments. Everything else we will do individually. I'll have a look at it. I also have a look at the complexity. If there is one target market, if there are different target markets, if it's one industry research we need to do, if there are different industry research needs we need to do, if there is one competitor analysis, or if there are different competitors for different industries, or maybe different competitors for different locations. Yeah. So, and this is what I take into consideration, and then give you the fee for applications and business plans of over 10 million rand. For you just to know, I'm not hiding this information. Up to 1 million rand, we charge for the business plan 8,900 rand. Up to 5 million rand, we charge for the business plan 15,100 rand. Up to 10 million rand, we charge for the business plan 22,200 rand, I think. Keep in mind, all our fees I mentioned are inclusive of VAT. Yeah. If you are in business, if you're VAT registered, you can claim the VAT back, of course. Application support is also according to the loan amount. The more money you want to apply for, the more complex and the more detailed, of course, the documentations need to be. You need to submit, and we are collecting for you. Yeah. Okay. Nipil, good morning. Shimi, good morning. Marvin, what are key things do I need in place to ensure that I get funding outside of a business plan and financial model? What other checks does CFA have? Okay, so what they do is they have three aspects. I like to group that. Number one is they want to see everything about yourself. Okay, who's Marvin? What is your experience, your expertise? What are your assets and liabilities? What are your monthly incomes? What are your monthly expenses? Your proof of residence, of course. Yeah. Then there is the second part. It's all about the business, and that means your CIPC document, your tax income tax number, your what else? If you have you need definitely to have a business bank account. If you're a startup, if you're an expansion, you need to have bank statements. You need to have annual financial statements. In some cases, you need to have a BE certificates. In some cases, also you need to have a tax clearance certificate. Yeah, and then so one is the applicant, one is the business, and the third part is of course about the new venture. What do you want to do? How much money do you need? Do you have quotes? Do you have offtake agreements? You know, every assumptions what we do in the business plan, they need now some documentations. Yeah, Marvin, I hope I was able to answer that question. Lil Delva, do you assist applicants to overcome the challenge of not meeting the criteria where the funding has critiqued and found a defect in your business plan? Do you then amend your drafted business plan in order for applicant to qualify? Okay, Lindelwa, it's usually not really the business plan, it's the supporting documents that are not sufficient, and sometimes it's also that they don't read properly. I haven't said that, yeah? But sometimes what we say, hey, please, page number 25, business plan, chapter, I don't know, 4, and then there is where you find the information you were asking for, yeah? Okay. Nipil. Which organizations can fund a business owned by foreign nationals who have a permanent residence and IDs? Okay. SIFA sometimes does this. They change their mind in between. I remember times where they did it, and I remember times where they haven't done it. The last time I checked, but that's already half a year ago, they did also finance foreigners with a permanent residence and IDs. That's something what we definitely need to have an individual look at. There are other financiers that can do that. They are a little bit more expensive, and with expensive I mean the interest rate. Yeah, but definitely there are some options. Chakela, what are the requirements to qualify for your grants? Okay, so Chakela, just clear, we are a private consulting firm, we are an advisory firm, we do not give out any loans, we do not give out any grants. Yeah, so there are some grants available from government institutions, and feel free to contact Brent here on Facebook Messenger. Please make sure you use Funding Connection Facebook Messenger. I don't check my Facebook Messenger. And then we are able to double check for you if you qualify. Okay, Dion, what are the requirements to get funding for an NPO? Raising donations for an NPO is getting harder and harder. Keep in mind, the whole world is still suffering here from COVID. Number one is, and number two is the war in between Russia and Ukraine still has an impact on the whole world, and donations here in South Africa from donors are still channeled through their existing contacts, yeah, and existing NPOs they supported before. I'm not saying it's impossible, Dion, but I'm definitely saying it is more challenging. What we can do is, we've raised donations before. We are definitely confident to do a business plan and a budget for you. We then can give you a list of potential donors. Most donors also expect that you have already 2 years of annual financial statements. Yeah. Macintosh Motors. Okay, you're paying a car that was repossessed by the bank, which was under the business. Can you get funding? And if you're still paying off some credit cards on your personal name, do they do a screen check? Yeah, that's what they do. Is they definitely will check your credit history. Put yourselves in the shoes of a financier, and please, I'm not judging. Okay, so don't misunderstand me. I know there are sometimes times life happens and out of a sudden everything was fine, and out of a sudden, specifically now with all these mess here in the world but also here in South Africa, things can be tough. I am aware of it, but financiers look at it like this. So there is somebody who received a loan and who is paying back on a monthly basis. That is somebody who proves that they are committed, that they are reliable. Now, for some crazy reasons, this person is not paying back the loan. Like I said, I'm not judging. So they will be a little bit more reluctant. Makes sense, yeah. South Africa is in any case has a problem, and lots of people are in debt. It does not mean that you can't raise capital for your business, yeah. You just need to, I would highly recommend, be straightforward with them, be open. They will check your credit cards and everything in your personal name. They will ask you for a document to sign. And please, please, please don't lie on these documents. They can check your assets and liabilities. That's for them a click away. Yeah. So, and if you are then not honest, that jeopardizes the whole application. And I've done applications where somebody still had outstanding debts, but they made some agreements, they paid already back on a monthly basis, so they could show that they are reliable. Yeah. Zena, do personal debt and credit score count against the applicant in government funding applications? Yes. Yeah. Okay, I hope that's what I answered already. Nipil, I'm not okay. There are some financiers out there. The challenge is I don't know what you want to do, So, and it was just guessing, and then you would look around and say, "Oh yes, but they don't do this, or they don't do that industry." So you feel like I gave you wrong information. That's what I just want to prevent. Yeah. Lindelba, what if the information is not in the plan at all? Do you amend the plan to assist in the qualification of funding? I have no idea at the moment, Lindelba. When you are a client of us, we are interested that you get this application through, and part of the payment for our support is also that we do amendments. Okay. Usually we ask for all the information when we draft a business plan. Sometimes we don't receive them from our clients. I definitely, if this is something what you like to discuss, I would recommend contact Brent, and so that he can guide you and say, okay, so I'm not too sure if you have anything specific in mind there, then we can have a look at it. Yeah. Paul, what happens if you don't have a personal balance sheet? You always have a personal balance sheet, even if it's zero. Yeah? Leolando, it's not guaranteed. No, we can't guarantee. So what happens is with government institutions, with financiers, they do applications, and then from one day to the other they decide they don't do this industry anymore because they don't want to overexpose their risk in one specific industry. Government institutions also have, sometimes they have a budget available per fund, and if they run out of funds, there is no money available. What we do is we usually allocate at the end of the process and say, okay, this is the right financier and the best option for these applications at the moment. And because we submit on a weekly basis, and we also get feedback, of course, on a weekly basis, so we know where it's easy, smooth sailing, and where it's a little bit of more rough, where we assume it looks like they ran out of money. Okay. Okay, so Dion asked here, newly registered NPO, so they don't have your financials to show. Yes, we charge. We are a private consulting firm, and we charge for our services. Spoon, up for this. How long does it take for CIFA to make a decision? At the moment, they are quite quick with 2 to 3. Lindelwa, I'm not too sure why you haven't received anything. But you have more email. If you are one of our clients, sorry, I can't remember all the names, then you should have more than one email address. And if Brent is not answering, then and we have done the application for you, you have Kamal's email address, you should have Brandon's email address. Please reach out. Yeah. Mpo, I have no idea. These are details. If the judgment is, he asked now if the judgment is 5 years ago. Mpo, I have no idea. It depends on also, of course, what happened there. I would recommend definitely go to an expert in this field and ask them, did you pay in the meantime? Did you just ignore the judgment? I have no idea what happened there. Yeah. Okay, so yes, that was a really, really exciting meeting here. I love this these interactive webinars here on Monday morning. Okay, so Marvin has one last question. Do you hold the client's hands once the funding application is submitted, or does the client walk alone and provide feedback to you if there are any amendments that need to be made on the business plan and or financial model? Marvin, we are there for you. The challenge is that government institutions, because there was some fraudulent activities from other consultants, don't come back to us as a consultant, they always come back to you as a client. It has also something, of course, to do with the POPI Act. Yeah? So, and they don't want to share personal information now with the consultant, they will ask you directly. If you paid for our services to guide you through the process, like I said before, we are there for you. You come back to us and say, Dagmar, they can't find the target market in the business plan. Then they say, we have done the target market. I had last week also some, I don't know, was it CIFA or NEF, who came back and said there are no competitors. I said, I'm sure we always do a competitor analysis, yeah? So, and I said, no, there are competitors. Please find them here on that page here. These are, usually we even try to find competitors who have websites where there is a link. Yeah? Okay, so and then we are there for you. The challenge is just that the financiers is not allowed to come back directly to us. They only come back to you, but you have access then to us. Yeah? Secondary cooperatives. Kuseli, I have no idea at the moment. It also, usually it has nothing to do with if it's a secondary cooperative, it has more to do with what product or services you want to offer. Yeah? Okay, let me see. Nomschle. Here. I do have more than 2 years financial statements that in good standing, but don't know where to start to get government grant or private funders. Do you help? Yes, we can assist you. We need to figure out, so what product or service do you offer? How much capital do you need? For what you need the capital, like I said, use the easiest way is definitely go to Facebook Messenger and please the funding connection Facebook Messenger and contact us. Yeah. AB, for a project, you mean it's a tender? Yes, we can do that. Marvin, thank you. Pleasure. Dagmar, sometimes the people who assess these applications at the financiers do not read the business plan properly and can be frustrating for the applicant. Thibaut, yes, it is. I totally understand. Keep in mind, these are also only humans, and it depends also on their how are they trained, so and what happens is it is the first person who gets an application, they just check if all the documents are there, you know so and then there's the next person, sorry, who then has a look at, okay, which industry is it a startup, is an expansion, and then they give that application to the relevant person. Yeah, so it's a step-by-step approach. And I know I had last week we submitted an application, I think it was for farming, but the applicant was an experienced had a construction company, so they were only always asking about construction and quotes and infrastructure, and we were thinking, where do they come up with this is a farming business on an existing farm. They just needed to build a shed, that there's nothing where you need to have a permit or something like this to build a shed. It's frustrating, Thibaut. I totally understand this, but be patient. Yeah. So one of the things is what I can always say, and is just patience. Learn, see maybe how to present that better the next time, and that's why I like always the feedback, because we can then also we improved, of course, over the last, I don't know, 12, 15 years, all our business plans, what we do to make sure it's easier for the financiers to read our plan. Yeah? Okay, lovely. That was an absolutely amazing meeting here. I enjoyed my time. I wish you all the best, all the success for the next week, and we definitely will see us next week again. Take good care. Bye bye.